Hey guys, Marslinger here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to take a little look ahead into the future for Global and take a look at everything that we know is going to be releasing between now and the end of the year, the full roster for the rest of 2023, if you will, for the global version. Now, there are a couple of spots in the calendar where we know the gist of what is happening. Like, for example, we know the worldwide download celebration is going to be starting within the next couple of weeks, but we don't know, obviously, what the units are going to be. All of this stuff is, of course, based off of the JP schedule. So wherever there are same time celebrations, things like heroes, we obviously don't know exactly what we're going to get unit-wise, but we do know that that celebration is coming at that time. So we are able to piece together all of the other bits from around the roster for the rest of the year and give you a good idea of how this is going to pan out. Now, we are going to base this, of course, on the pattern from last year. There is the possibility that they make some changes. In fact, there is one you can see straight away when we start breaking down the list of global units, where units released in a slightly different order to the way they released on JP. And of course, if that happens again, then we'll know the schedule like one for one. If they decide not to do that, then obviously two units could be swapped around. Unfortunately, that is one of the things with Global. A lot of people do like the foresight, as we call it, that Global playing the global version gives you, but unfortunately there's been a lot of instances in the recent history where they have changed things around, and it's been a little bit annoying. But you know, this is all going to be based off of the pattern for last year. If it changes, it changes. But it shouldn't change too drastically, right? So this is where we are right now, beginning of August. We're coming to a close on the anniversary, and then the next Dokkan Fest that we got on Global was the physical Raditz. So he released on JP on the 1st of April, which is kind of ironic considering how much of a joke this unit was. But yeah, he had come out on the 1st of April on JP, released on the 9th of August on Global. Now, that is tomorrow. So obviously we're a day or two behind schedule for this year. It happens quite regularly where celebrations are a day or two out either side, because they usually like to start them on certain days of the week as opposed to specific dates, unless it comes to things obviously like the anniversary, right, which is supposed to be on a specific date. And of course the unit was his counterpart that we are expecting to see news of in-game very soon is the AGL Berserk Kale that then transforms into Super Saiyan 2. I will do a more detailed video about her and her banner probably tomorrow, because I think as early as tomorrow we should see the teaser in the news that a new Dokkan Fest event is coming, and obviously that will confirm that it will be Kale releasing on the global version next. Now again, things could change, right? We could see a teaser in the news tomorrow and it could be for Turles, or it could even be for Super Trunks, which very unlikely considering he's the current unit that's just come out on JP, but obviously you never know what they are planning to do. But Kale should be the one that releases her Part 2 LR when she released on JP. I say her Part 2 LR, it was part of that celebration, but of course it was Super Boo, and he has already come out on Global. So this celebration is always the perfect one that fits into this time slot before the worldwide download celebration, because there isn't enough time for there to be a Part 2 LR, and now this celebration obviously doesn't need one because we already got it, right? So then we move on. You can see we had the Raditz releasing at the beginning of August, and then not long after that we get the worldwide download celebration. The countdown celebration starts usually a week before this, so we really are not that far away from the start of all these festivities. So the Kale celebration literally going to be like 2 weeks, right? And then the worldwide download celebration begins, and the worldwide celebration, much like the anniversary, essentially takes up an entire month. So we go through the whole of September with the worldwide download celebration, get all the way to the end of September with the final events of the worldwide. Obviously we don't yet know what the theme is. I put out a video on that earlier discussing it with Minato and Joe, so make sure you go check that out. And then we got to the 4th of October, and this is when the next solo Dokkan Fest released, and this was the Tech Pan. So Tech Pan came out on Global on the 4th of October. Now the interesting thing about this for the JP side is she released in July on JP and then came out in October for Global. However, we do have, where did I put their page here? The unit that came out, the Resurrection of F Blues, they came out in May, which as you can see is before... Oh, where am I going? May, there you go. Is before Pan, but Pan came out first on Global. So obviously we don't know if they're going to do that again this year, because if the unit that came out in Pan's slot releases after the worldwide download celebration at the beginning of October, then that will be the new tech Trunks that transforms into Super Trunks that has just come out on JP recently. Because for some reason, again, I'm not sure why they decided to do this, but on JP, the Resurrection of F Blues came out first, and then on Global, Pan came out first. So this is obviously the one that's kind of up in the air, is will they release Trunks because they released Pan first last year, or will they stick to the normal schedule? That is something we will have to wait and see, because for JP, this unit came out in May, before the Super Trunks, which then came out on Global in November, and their replacement would be the physical Turles, who came out on the 31st of May as well. So he's the same time slot as the Resurrection of F Blues on JP. So we basically have a repeat of this same situation, right? Where Trunks came out after Turles, but if they follow the schedule the same way they did last year, Trunks will release first, like Pan did, at the beginning of October, and then Turles will release afterwards at the beginning of November. Was it November 4th? Yeah, the Resurrection of F Blues came out. So Turles will come out on the 4th of November. Now, obviously, again, they could change this. They could go back to releasing them in the order they released on JP, which means that Turles would come out in October and Trunks will come out in November. But I just wanted to highlight that last year they switched those two around for some reason. So they could do that again, but if we follow the order of JP, it would be Turles first in November, and then Trunks in October, and then Trunks in November. So not really too sure. We'll have to obviously wait and see how they decide to do that. And then, of course, the interesting thing is, depending on what they do, is this guy was the Part 2 LR for Turles. And if they choose to release him in the same time slot as the Resurrection of F Blues, that means this guy is going to basically suffer the same fate as the LR Golden Frieza, who released as their Part 2 LR and then didn't come out on Global until January. So if they decide to release Turles in the slot in November, then yeah, this guy's going to come out in like January for Global, which is kind of unfortunate considering he's not really that good. By the time he comes out for Global, it means we're going to have had the worldwide celebration, a couple of extra Dokkan Fests and New Year, and then this guy comes out, and unfortunately is going to be in a position where he's just really not going to be a valuable summon for a lot of people, which is unfortunate. But he essentially falls under next year, so we don't know what they're going to do. If they do the same thing they did with Golden Frieza, then we won't see him until the beginning of 2024, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. So this is what it looked like, right? 4th of November, the Resurrection of F Blues came out, and then we have the parts of their celebration. We had a world tournament, and then we get the Heroes celebrations. This was on the 22nd of November. Obviously, you guys know, a big Heroes fan, very much looking forward to the celebration again this year. We do not know any of the characters yet. Nothing has been teased or revealed so far. I definitely would like to see Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito and Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Broly, because the normal Super Saiyan 4 versions of those two characters are getting their EZAs this year. And so they would obviously already have perfect link partners if the Limit Breaker versions of them came out as well. But obviously we don't know anything about that yet, so we'll have to look forward and see how that goes. I mean, one of the great things about Heroes, I know this is filled out by the fact that basically all the free-to-play units that were out except the brand new one got EZAs, but like you get so many EZAs in the Hero Celebration, and a lot of them are usually very good when it comes to the EZAs, right? Say what you will about the kits of the actual like new Heroes units, but a lot of these EZA units were very, very good. And then we move into the end of November, and this is when we get where Global gets the Tanabata unit. So obviously last year it was the LR Vegeta and Trunks. They released on the 28th of November, and of course this year the Tanabata LR is the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku that standbys into Majub, and then if you get all the charges, transfers transforms into full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Once you actually get the standby and the full charge and transform into full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, this guy easily can be argued as one of the best units in the game. I think the only reason people don't have him in the top 3 in general is because you have to actually get to that point, right? Like if he just started the game as this guy, he would probably have an argument for being top 3. This guy is insane, super good. If you're a fan of Super Saiyan 4, I know a lot of people are really excited for this guy, so he should be releasing at the end of November. As I say again, it was the 28th for Vegeta and Trunks, so that's when we should see the release of full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And then of course the part 2 LR for the Tanabata last year was the Fusion Zamasu, and he released on the 12th of December for global. So of course his counterpart is this guy, the LR Omega Shenron, the Carnival LR. Now for global, when this guy came out, he was on a Carnival banner, so it was double rates, LR banner with the Carnival coins, even though technically this guy is a yellow coin LR. So this year, obviously with the Omega, it will be an actual Carnival LR banner with the Carnival coins, double rates. It'll be the first return of the STR Carnival Goku. I've been waiting to get dupes for that unit for an incredibly long time. It actually kind of sucks, right? Because on global, I'd have to double check when he came out originally, but he hasn't been back for ages on global, and he's not going to be back until 12th of December was when this banner came out for JP, which is, sorry, for global last year. So this guy coming around the 12th of December. And then that leads us into the final part of the year, where as you can see, last year for the very first time, we got the New Year Dual Dokkan Fest at the same time as JP, which was the superhero stuff. Now, the interesting thing for this year is we don't yet know, and I guess we won't know until we come to it, did we get this at the same time as JP just because it was the superhero movie and they wanted to have that across both versions at the same time? Or are we now always going to be getting the New Year's Dual Dokkan Fest at the same time as JP? Hopefully yes, because obviously, you know, same time celebrations are always the most hype. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people, myself included, want the games to sync. Having to wait ages for units like really sucks. So we'll have to obviously wait and see whether these units come out at the same time on global as they do on JP. Actually, while I'm here, let me just double check for this Carnival Goku, because did he come out in January, or was it even later than that? Because I'm trying to remember. I know I summoned for him early on in the year and did not have a lot of luck summoning on his banner. Yeah, so 16th of February. So bear in mind, this is when he came out on global, and he potentially is not returning until the Omega banner comes out, which was on the 12th of December. So that basically means he took 10 months to come back and be available on global. So if you didn't pull him from his first banner, 10 months until he came back. It was already, was it like 7 months or 8 months, I think, until he came back on the Omega banner. So it's just yet another unfortunate side effect of the global timeline being behind JP and being mixed up in certain places. Because we have so many same time celebrations now throughout the year, it pushes other things into different places. And yeah, unfortunately that STR Goku does get very affected by that. So, but yeah, that is the list going in order of how everything released on JP. It means Kale will be coming up next. And then if they keep the order that they did last year, where they brought out Pan before the resurrection of F Blues, that means it would be Trunks and then it would be Turles. But there is the possibility that it will be Turles and then Trunks, because that is the order it released on JP. No idea whether they will do that again or not. We have no way to know. And then, of course, the Tanabata, we have Heroes. Then we have the Tanabata LR, which is Goku. His Part 2 LR, which is Omega Shenron. And then, obviously, wait to see whether we do indeed get the New Year's Dual Dokkan Fest. Because if we don't, I'm not really sure what they do in its place, right? They could release the next Dokkan Fest, Solo Dokkan Fest, or who knows. My bet, if I had to guess, is that we are going to get the New Year Dual Dokkan Fest at the same time as JP, but obviously at this point we have no way to know. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Out of all of these units, which ones are you looking forward to? Which ones are you not? Do you think they will swap around the placement for Turles and Trunks like they did for last year, Pan and the Resurrection of Blues? Or do you think they will release them in the same order as JP? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.